Hello, everybody. Hello. How is everybody doing today? Welcome. Oops. Welcome to the 10K Project. We have a special guest coming on today. I had a great conversation with him on Thursday. You all are going to enjoy yourselves. Hello, Miss Tawana, my partner in crime.
How are you today?
Doing well, thank you.
Good.
Oops. So many of you saw, if you are a member of the 10K Project and you want to be receiving text messages when we have our Bet on Black pitch, you are able to text 10K to 202-410-4202. I'll put that in the chat as well a few times during today's session. But we are here today. We're going to be joined by a gentleman named Allende, who is the CEO of a platform called Needle. And he is going to talk with us about his social platform. We often hear that we use social platforms, but we don't own them. Well, we have a brother who's an owner. And he actually walked me through his platform. I think it was on Thursday, and I'm super excited to welcome him whenever he comes today. So yes, everybody, put your city and state in the chat so we can recognize you. Put your city and state in the chat. I'm going to actually start the recording. So Tawana, how was your day? How was your weekend? What have you been up to in your wealth building journey?
Weekend was good. It was peaceful. It was restful. So that's always a wonderful thing. Today was semi-productive.
Okay.
But I can tell you in my personal wealth building journey, I'm becoming more and more at peace with the decisions I'm making and the sacrifices that I'm making for my family. And they're not always easy, right? Sacrifices very rarely are. But I can see where, today's sacrifice is going to benefit a lot of people, years and years and years from now. So it makes it a little easier when you think about it in that perspective.
Yeah.
So I'm hopeful and optimistic about just everything we're doing here and everything I'm doing personally. It's just super exciting.
Great, great. And for me, I sent out a newsletter to everyone last week talking about that the first quarter of the year is officially ending in 2 days. And, what are some of the things you're thinking of with regards to the springtime and the second quarter in the next 3 months? What are some of the wealth building things that you want to do? And one of the things that I've started doing, but I'm really focused on it, is getting my health back. Some people gained the quarantine 15. I put on a little bit more than that, and I'm like, now that things are starting to open up again, I want to, get my health back. So, but I want to thank everybody who also came back to me and said, here's what I'm doing. And you can actually put in the chat as well. What is something you want to do for your wealth building journey for the second quarter, April, May, and June? Let's start claiming it. Let's start declaring it. And in the meantime, we've got DC in the house. We got Philly, Michigan, Georgia, Texas, another Georgia, California, New Jersey, Brooklyn, California, Chicago, Detroit, Minnesota, California, Virginia Beach, Ohio, another Detroit, another Illinois, Chicago. Maria saying, Tawana, I've been wanting to say thank you for reminding us to do our due diligence.
Oh, you're very welcome, my dear.
Maria, you're going to have to send Tawana an email and let her know what you mean by that.
Very, very good, always. And we always have to do it for ourselves, and we have to be serious about it, and remove emotion for a moment while you're doing the research. But, even with the entrepreneurs that we're presenting to you, right?
Mhm.
I vetted some, right? I vetted based on my standard, but my standard may be different than your standard. And we absolutely, before we give our hard earned dollars to anyone, we need to make sure they are worthy to receive it. And so
Yeah,
we do that in the form of due diligence.
absolutely. We got Texas, we got New Jersey, Florida, New York, Georgia, North Carolina. Um, oh, Maria's saying I've invested in Needle on WeFunder last
Oh, I
year.
didn't realize they
Great.
had a right.
Yeah,
Nice.
so that is going to be, and the Yende is here. Perfect. So I'm going to bring him up. Yeah, so he's going to talk about his social platform. He has some things that he's doing. He told me something on Thursday that I hope he's going to announce to everybody. He's got a huge win for his business that I'm hoping he'll be able to share with you and so much more. But Allende, hold on a second. We've got Georgia, we've got Colorado, DMV, Kansas City, Michigan. Maria's saying I have to do my taxes. Marche is saying I plan to get a financial coach to help me to lay out my plan for the future. Fabulous. Jesse is saying bought my first shares ever in the Pay Baby Neobank. Fantastic. People are saying get back in shape, get back into hopping, and invest in tax liens. Perfect, Terrence. I hope you were part of the tax lien session that we did with Tamara Tober Bush. If you were not, or you want to catch the replay, that is officially in the Knowledge Center. So I'm going to really quickly, I'm going to share my screen, tell everyone about the 10K project, just in case you're new here and you're not sure who we are. And then we're going to open it up to our guest speakers. So I want to welcome everyone to the 10K project. We are officially the nation's largest community of small dollar investors who actively fund Black-owned businesses. And it is now time for us to get our seat at the table. How do we do that? One of the primary ways we do that is by investing in our businesses because they provide jobs and they provide economic stability within the community. And there was a Morgan Stanley report that said when our businesses are properly funded, they make just as much money as any other ethnically founded business. But our businesses receive 1/3 of the funding of other ethnically founded businesses. And I always say to you, as small dollar investors, Wall Street and the big guys, their loss is our gain because now we're able to take advantage of investing in our own businesses. So we already talked about the major problems that Black businesses are least likely to get funded. And by the time everyday people like you and I find out about these opportunities, it's oftentimes too late because most of the profits have been made. So when the Jobs Act came out in 2012, it allowed Black entrepreneurs to have another option to get the money that they need from regular people like you and I. We are called the crowd, and this is equity crowdfunding. And equity crowdfunding is regulated by the Securities Exchange Commission and FINRA. So the way that equity crowdfunding works at the 10K project is entrepreneurs work with an equity crowdfunding portal to raise anywhere from $10,000 to $5 million. So then every week, Tawana, I will say, invites a Black-owned business, a Black-owned entrepreneur to come and pitch his or her investment opportunity to the community. Then you as an individual investor gets to review, hear the pitch first of all, ask questions of the founder, review their business plan, do your research, also known as due diligence, shout out to Maria. And if you like that business and if you want to invest, you are able to do so in exchange for shares or equity or partial ownership in that company. And then if the company makes it big, the crowd shares in the profits. If the company does not make it big or does not make it, then investors only lose what they put into the company. So now we're at a point where we as a people can start funding our own companies, profiting from our own innovation, creating jobs, and building Black wealth. And the ecosystem that we're building is this. So we have entrepreneurs that are coming in order to raise funding for their businesses. We have everyday people, also known as investors, who can hear a pitch. And if you like it, you are able to invest in that business. But one of the things that, as Sawana and some of the others who helped us launch this, when we talked about it, we were concerned about money just leaving and leaking out of the community. Because once these entrepreneurs raise, let's say $600,000, then where do they go? What do? They're usually raising the money in order to hire people, in order to get contract work so that they can grow their business. So we have started something called an expert directory, where all of our members are able to add their information in there. If you're a CPA, an attorney, a digital marketer, you've got shea butter, you are an HVAC person, electrician, I don't care what you are, add yourself to the expert directory, because you never know what the entrepreneurs are going to be looking for and what we are going to be looking for as a community in order to be able to shop Black and buy Black. So I want to encourage everybody here to become a member of the 10K Project. You can attend the Bet on Black pitches, which happen every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can participate in the expert directory. We also have wealth building webinars like how to buy tax liens and stock options and things like that. We also have peer-to-peer conversations or community coaching once a month. And we also have exclusive content in our knowledge center. So being a part of the 10K Project is a one-time lifetime payment of $100. And you can go to the10kproject.com in order to become a member. And then just to let everyone know, we've got some upcoming events. Tonight, we have Ayende here is talking about Needle. Tomorrow night, we have a woman named Trinette who is coming to talk about her experience at the $1 Billion Roundtable. So especially if you're an entrepreneur and you want to sell to Fortune 500 companies, there are Fortune 500 companies that are dedicated to spending $1 billion with minority-owned businesses. I'm always asking how we can get our share of that pie. Trinette has successfully done it, and she's going to come and talk about her experience at this $1 Billion Roundtable. We have our Bet on Black pitch tomorrow night at 8. And then for my entrepreneurs who want to be highly paid consultants, this gentleman, Alzay Calhoun, is coming on Friday at noon to talk about that. And that's going to be a good one. So you want to definitely come for that. In the next Monday, we've got our very own economist, the 10K economist herself, Dr. Cherie Phillips, coming back. She gave me a preview of some of the things she's going to talk about. And all I can say is you will not be disappointed. So with that, Tawana, do you have any announcements before we bring Ayende up?
I'll just say, you mentioned the Bet on Black pitches. We've got another great company coming tomorrow evening. Transportation is the industry, so wet your palate a little bit with that. And, we've got just an amazing lineup. The whole month of April is booked. I'm working on May now, and really excited about how many of you join us every Tuesday evening. If anyone on here is not a member and you've been thinking about the benefit of becoming one, that seat at the table that Cherie talked about is your reason, right? Equity crowdfunding allows for us to get that early seat at the table of what could be an amazing business venture. And as you'll talk to Ayende this evening, he's growing, and I didn't realize he had a crowdfunding raise last year, but Marie told us that in the chat. And so he's going to be a good example of a business that, sorry about that, a business that now is a household name, right? So more to come on that.
Yes, absolutely. And Ayende, you're able to come up now. Hello. Oh, you're on mute.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Doing great, doing great. So I'm super excited to have you here. Your platform was suggested to us by, I don't know, somebody, and we spoke last week. You were gracious enough to show us the Needle platform. Let's start off with, you know, what Needle is, first of all, and why it's so important to the community, and letting people know how they can access it. And then we'll go back to how you got started.
Okay, so what Needle is and why it's so important to the community. Well, first of all, Needle, as in the haystack, Needle, as in your radio dial. Needle is a new application. Actually started in 2017, but a new iteration that gives everybody their own live call-in radio show that transcribes their words as they speak, monetizes their words as they speak, and amplifies them as they speak. And the reason why it's so important in our community is and so underappreciated or underrepresented is because in the Black and Brown communities, radio is hugely important to keeping us together. I was having a conversation with someone recently, and we were talking about different cultures and different cultures being able to support each other. But because of our history of enslavement, a lot of us are disparate. And so radio has been that glue that keeps communities together.
Yes, and everybody, you can go to home.needle.com from your, like I went from my cell phone, so you want to download it because it is an app, but you can go from your Android or iOS in order to get that. So then let's start from the beginning, as I have to go to the other two social platforms and make sure I have your information in there, Allende, but start from the beginning, like, why Needle? Why is this so important for us? And why did you even get started with this?
Okay, so the overview is 25 plus years in radio. I created the first iHeartRadio app and had the honor and the distinct privilege, the chance of a lifetime to write for President Obama as a speech contributor during the 2008 election. And then in 2016, watching his farewell address, I was really inspired by what he said, where he said one of the main, which I think we depend on especially, is the threat of media fragmentation, right? And so I really believe that a shared experience, which is radio, where people are all sharing the same experience at the same time, which creates and engenders togetherness and culture, would be something that we could bring to bear. And then there was something else that I wanted to address too, which is that, when Michelle Obama says something, everybody hears that, right? But Cherie is saying really amazing things as well. And shouldn't more people be able to hear that? Well, what if you could transcribe what Cherie and everyone is saying at the same time, and then make it searchable so that now recency becomes the determining factor for discovery, not just who the person, how big their name is. And so that's what we created in 2017. And many iterations later, we have our newest iteration that just launched in December.
I got to say one thing, because you glossed over the iHeartRadio thing. And when you and I first spoke about it, I gasped, right? And I said, but I asked you, were you profitable with that? And you can share as much as you want to share about that, but I think it is a teaching moment for all of us.
Yeah, no, it was my first venture. I was still trying to figure out if I should believe in myself and my own ideas. And it was actually pretty funny because it's like it was years later before I really started to like own that I created it. In 2003, before there was an iPhone, I started a company called Thumb Radio because I grew up in Washington D.C. So people from DMV are cheering right now. So I grew up in Washington D.C. and I grew up listening to Donnie Simpson and WKYS. And I really missed all of that great radio and go-go music when I moved to LA. And so I knew that there was a way to listen to content back home, but I also knew that it just wasn't being done. So I created a mobile app before there was an app store, and it was called Thumb Radio, and it was to bring every radio on the planet to your cell phone. And out of really desperation, I went back to my former employer, where I was a top salesperson in radio before I left, and suggested a partnership, and they loved the idea. And so we partnered, signed all the paperwork and everything like that, but there still wasn't an appetite. The App Store, the iPhone had just come out in 2007 when we did this partnership. So we ended up doing a partnership, but couldn't get it going. And then 2 years later, iHeartRadio was born. But we were the first company to stream iHeartRadio radio stations on a mobile phone.
Wow.
So I didn't participate in the upside.
You didn't participate in the upside, and that, of course, breaks my heart, which is also why we're talking about this today. So, because so many of us come up with great ideas, and Tawana and I've talked about this as well. Sometimes, even with our Bet on Black pitches, sometimes you're too early as well. Sometimes you have to hang in there. You have to have the capital to hang in there and the ability to do so. So when you and I had that conversation, obviously I want to respect your wishes of how much you wanted to tell, but my mouth dropped because I'm like, what? We did that, and all of that. But now it's time for us. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, we all know the creator of Spotify and Pandora, and now the creator of the iHeartRadio app's name. But it's not a bad story. I mean, I learned a lot, and with this company, we now have the patent on real-time search of live audio, whether it's spoken or sung. And you talk about being early. They're still figuring out that transcribing audio is really important, and by the time they figure it out, I mean, we're going to be gone.
Yeah, I love it. Tawani, you have another question before we ask Ayende to show his app?
Yes. So, my question is gonna, I think it's a little controversial, but I think it's the question that people want to know because I want to know it. Why do we now know Clubhouse as a household name, but we don't know about Needle?
Well, it speaks to funding, right? So thank you so much for asking that question. There's no way that you hand out $10 million without doing a little bit of research in the marketplace. And if you did a little bit of research, you would have seen our articles in Forbes, in Entrepreneur Magazine. We were everywhere. So there was a conscious decision to keep it in their circle, and that's okay. That's it's what humans do, right? That's just their circle. That's what they do. But we have a choice too, right? So our choice is that we can start funding Black and Brown founders early on when the funding counts the most, right? So I heard it said recently, and it's just like we're conditioned to think that we're supposed to struggle for years and years and years until we make it happen. But that's not the way that business happens. Especially with startups, you need a lot of rocket fuel in the very beginning so that things can go far. And that's what we're here for tonight. And we're so thrilled and thankful. Thank you so much for having us tonight.
Wonderful.
Absolutely. So show it off. Show us Needle. We want to see it.
All right. So I'm so excited because when I was a kid, I used to love calling into radio stations, right? So we've done that. We've given you your own live broadcast radio station that's a call-in radio station. So when you sign up with the app, which I think see some of you all are doing that right now. I don't know if Myers C421 is one of our people, but I see that person just went live.
Yeah, Chris.
Oh, cool. Okay, so stay live, Chris. You're our guinea pig. We'll all join your live broadcast. And if we may, please, we need to mute ourselves here and go over there. Now, if you are not able to download the app, but you're on this call, you have access to the internet. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put Chris's needle.com/Meyer C421. This is his own webpage. So it didn't show up correctly. It put the Macron over the E. But the point is that you can go to this page and listen to him even without downloading the app. So that's what we've done with this. We've given you your own radio station. People can listen to you even without downloading the app. They can even subscribe to you and get SMS alerts whenever you go live without downloading the app. So Clubhouse might be the place where you go when you want to keep things in a close circle, but Needle's the place where you go when you want to get the word out. And that's what a lot of us do.
So Chris is saying, I don't know how to use it yet. So Chris, what I'd like to do is bring you up on Zoom as well. And that way Allende can walk you through. So I'm just going to bring you up on audio so you don't have to worry about looking good, but I'm going to click here. So if you're able to hear, Chris, you're able to talk, you can unmute yourself. Chris? Well, let's try Chris and Needle.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, we can hear you now. Yes, perfect. So I'm going to mute myself and let you and Allende talk, and we're all going to get on Needle to hear the live broadcast.
Great.
Hey Chris, how you doing, buddy?
How's it going, bro?
I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed. So thank you for doing this. Thanks for being a guinea pig today. I'm going to show your screen. This is what people should see. You know, there's what the beauty is that I can tip you some hay, and I'm going to tip you some hay to get things started. And hay is currency on our platform. So for every one hay you receive, it's $1 that you can cash out. And so if you get 1,000 hay, you get $1,000, right? So you're live with your own show. Now, I just joined your audience. You can't hear me because just like on the radio, you can't hear your audience. But if I call in, you can pick up, okay? What questions do you have before I do that?
None right now. I'm just going with the flow.
Okay, cool. And the other thing I can do is I can also comment, right? So, by the way, we've always had commenting, but people who use Clubhouse are saying this is amazing because they weren't able to comment on Clubhouse. So this is something that we like using. Now we're in beta. Some of this stuff might glitch tonight. Who cares? We're showing you some great technology. But I'm calling you right now. It says ringing. You should have a phone on your end that should be ringing and jiggling on the far left. And I want you to tap on that, and then you're going to pick up. And then once you pick up my call, you're going to be able to hear me live on the air with you, and we can have a discussion. So you can have as many callers as you want. Now, here's what's going to happen. Once you pick up my call, I'm going to go on mute here. So if you are listening online, you're not going to be able to hear me here. But if you click on that link that I put in there, you'll be able to hear us all, okay? And Chris, you just need to tap the ringing phone. Amen, you did it. You picked up.
I can hear you. Yes. One second here. I gotta try to.
So what do I have to do to hear you guys on the radio? Because I can't hear you. I've got it downloaded. What do I press? So I'm in. I've got everything up, but what do I hit? Because I can't hear anything.
Allende, unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
Sorry. It's complex to do it on both this and that at the same time because it's two audio devices. But I think that Chris is currently muted. So he needs to unmute himself. And
No, I'm not muted.
Oh, you're not muted? Okay.
No,
Could be a glitch. Are you on Android or iOS?
I'm on Android.
Okay. We're having a problem with Android. We just launched it a week ago. So I'm gonna go live and we'll try it. Oh, or Cherie can go live. Whoever wants to go live. Tawana, do you want to go live? Yeah, let's do it. Tawana,
okay,
you go
have to
live.
tell me how, because I'm gonna be honest. I downloaded it, but I've not gone live yet.
Fantastic. So Chris, rest assured, we're fixing those audio problems. It just launched, and then we'll be announcing it formally that we're live on Android in the next week or two. Now,
No
Tawana,
problem.
thank you so much, Chris. You did great. Tawana, all you're going to do is, can I see your screen, please? All right, so you're going to tap the Needlecast button on the very bottom of your screen, and you're going to go on there. You're going to click on that accept. You can click on the words there. I've never seen it on a screen this big, by the way. And then you're going to do it on the last one too. You're going to accept that. Okay. All right. So Terrence hears me talking on the app. And then on the and then you're going to choose a category. So why don't you choose the top one? It says first Needlecast ever, or one of the top ones there. You see, it's the third one, maybe from the top. You're going down. You're going the other way. You can choose whatever you want. Just choose a category. Advertised? Huh?
I don't see a first Needlecast ever.
Yeah, there's a hashtag at the very top. Try it again.
Okay. Hold on, let's see.
It's maybe the third one down.
Huh.
Hey, you guys are saying it's so cool. Thank you so much. I see people commenting down here.
So now I'm here.
Tawana, am I saying your name correctly?
Uh-huh.
Tawana is live. Okay, let's go join her. Chris, join me in Tawana's live broadcast. Okay, so
I'm gonna mute here.
And I'm gonna go over to Tawana, first Needlecast ever. And I'm gonna call in to you. You should see a little phone ringing there on the left. So look under your picture where it says listeners. Okay, no worries. Just, yeah, don't worry about it. Just tap that little phone. And do you see me there?
And then I see pick up next to you.
Pick up. Hey.
Hey, Margaret. Yes, we know that the speakers are muted now. Oh, that's interesting. I'm in here. Okay. I'm gonna hang up in here. I'm sorry. I have no idea how I ended up on the needle as well.
You just want to mute yourself on.
There we go. I figured it out. Okay, everybody. Hey, all righty then. So to everyone who is just getting here, we have Ayende here who created an app, and we are listening to Tawana and Ayende talk on the Needle app. So I just put in, for everybody who's here, I just put in the link to where they're broadcasting now. And this brother has created something that's amazing, where you can have your own radio broadcast. It transcribes the information, and then you are able to do searches and hear content based on what's currently broadcasting live. It is amazing. Yes, Curtis. And what Allende has done is something that I think in the next couple of years, these big companies are going to be buying for him and for Needle, because this is amazing. So we encourage everybody to get into Needle right now. So perfect. I'm going to also make sure it's here in Facebook, and we've also put it here in YouTube as well for everybody who is there. So
Cherie, mute yourself.
So they're using the
Needle
system
app.
over. Dwayne is asking, is Needle going for another round of funding? We are going to ask him. We're going to ask him. I don't think he's raising right now. When we talked on Thursday, he didn't. You are?
He said we are.
No. Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah. Let's ask that question now then, since it came up. Yeah. Let's talk about that.
Okay, well then let's unmute him here, because we have a lot of people that are listening here that aren't on Needle. So.
All right, so here's what we're gonna do. I just muted my app, and so if you're on the Needle app, you can hear me, and you should be able to hear me on the Zoom right now.
Yeah, we can hear you on Zoom. Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you so much. Tawana, you did a great job. You sound amazing on the radio. You're natural. We are.
I have been told I have a good radio voice.
We've raised 1.6 million. We're one of only 250. If you want to vet us, we're one of only 250 companies that are led by Black and brown people who've raised over $1 million from VC. I figured that out as, I think, a Black male, so I don't know if it applies to women as well. So we've raised from Backstage Capital, who led our seed round, along with so they put a small check in, but an important check, and then Sweet Capital, the Candy Crush people from Sweden, right? Less baggage, I don't know. so they put $1 million into us, which was amazing for us. But we, 1.6 million in 4 years is very different than 10 million over 9 months, which is what Clubhouse has. So we need to get this up. What we're going to do is raise a $500,000 round right now. It's still at a below market valuation, so we're doing a $10 million cap, which is obviously 1% of Clubhouse's valuation. But we're going to do that now so that we can get some of the bugs out of this product. We're already beaten Clubhouse to Android, which is really important. There's a huge opportunity right now. And if we can capitalize on that opportunity, we can do a $100 million valuation in August or September. We've already talked to investors who are interested in that round.
Great. So since we let the cat out of, can you hear me?
I can hear you now, sorry.
Since we let the cat out of the bag, how do people, first of all, do their due diligence? Because Tawana and I are very much about due diligence. And then how can people learn more? What's the process?
Perfect question. Thank you so much. Someone mentioned, I heard that Maria, Maria is an investor. Thank you so much, Maria. So we had a WeFunder campaign last year, and we raised 75K that got us through the COVID. And so thank you, God, for that. So you can go to that WeFunder campaign, which is, I'll see if I can get the link for that. But the WeFunder campaign, you can just look wefunder.com and then look for Needle. There's a ton of diligence in there. And I also had a deck here that I wanted to show, but I wasn't sure if you wanted to do it. But there's one slide here in the deck that shows our advisory team. And Kevin Mayer, if the name sounds familiar, because you heard him as the CEO of TikTok that left very recently, and he was previously to that the next in line at Disney. And so Kevin Mayer has just joined our advisory board at the end of last year. So we have a ton of great people who have already believed in us and done diligence on us. Not to say that you shouldn't. So you should
Yeah,
also do diligence as well.
of course, of course. And then that WeFunder campaign is not up right now. So how, or is it up?
Let's see. It should be.
I don't think so, because Tawana would have found it.
Well, I was just getting ready to say.
She would have found it if it was. So we may need to email you and figure out what the next steps are.
Sure. Like, so what do your investors typically look at for?
So I tell you what, why don't you and I have a conversation?
Sure.
We'll email it. We'll and Tawana as well, because she's the one that comes up with the packages with the Bet on Black pitches. So let's put all the information, all the links together in a single email, everybody, and we will send it out. We will send it out. Yeah.
We typically do a data room, and we can get your investors access to our data room.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. Well, I'm excited about this. So go ahead, Tawana. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say, so I do see the old campaign out there. And so to Yende's point, go ahead and take a look now at all of that due diligence information, right? Mm-hmm. Look at the financials, look at the all of the information. It does not look like it's an active campaign right now.
No, it's no longer active. No, not at all.
So when are you taking active investments then?
So we just opened up a new round right now. Unicorn Ventures put in 25K. We've got 4 or 5 more that are circling right now to add to that. And I just put the link into the into your chat there, so people can click on that WeFunder. I see you had done it. Somebody else had done it as well. Yeah, so it's active right now. Did I answer your question, Tawana?
So is it active for unaccredited investors? No, not WeFunder, but on the other platform. Is it active for unaccredited investors or just accredited?
So we're, we don't have an open campaign right now anywhere. So we are only for accredited investors, except through crowdfunding, which is what your organization does.
Right.
So our goal is if we can raise 100K from this organization, that would meet our immediate needs. But really we need $500,000 so that we can, get to the promised land, so to speak.
Yeah, I think now that you're making more of a public name, right? I hear people talking more about Needle in social media than I am really. And I am one of those people also. Maybe consider activating your WeFunder campaign. The rules just changed where now you can raise more in the 12-month period. And so it may just be as simple as giving some updated financials and going live, because I can tell you almost everyone here is probably like itching, like
salivating. Yes.
Missed it last year. The only way we can support you is if we have access to support you.
Oh, okay. So that's what the conversation, that's where there was that's what Cherie, that's what I was asking the other day. So so you guys, okay, I get it. So you all gather, and then when we're live on a week, that's easy. All right. Yeah. So please earmark funds for us.
Yes. So Tawana is your contact person. She is the one that connects with all of our founders and puts together the Bet on Black pitch. And what happens in a typical Bet on Black pitch is you get to show your deck, you get to present for about 20 minutes, and then the community asks questions for like 40 minutes. And it's dynamic. I mean, we have a lot of fun in the pitches. So in that way, you can have a lot more back and forth as well with people. So
this has been fun already.
Yes. So we do have a couple of questions in the Q&A though. One is from Anonymous. I'm gonna figure out who Anonymous is one day. You can comment while you listen as a guest, and the speaker will be able to read out the comments in real time, ? Yeah. So, yeah. Okay, perfect.
In
And then
fact,
Denise,
I'm looking at one comment right now where it says, "Is Karen Hunter? Does Karen Hunter use this app?" And the answer is yes. So on Thursday, Karen Hunter blew it up for us. We had an increase of, you know, we like to be precise, so I will not quote to you the wrong number. We had an increase of 536% increase.
fantastic.
And so our growth model is sound, right? So it's event based. When celebrities come on to our app and post or talk about it, we see the spikes. And what we're raising money to do is get more of those celebrities and be able to sustain more of those people after they're not there. And so so we just got Fat Joe signed on.
Oh my goodness.
And Fat Joe's going to be going live very soon. It's like the more you know about Needle, the better it gets. So
Look, you better get that campaign activated. That's all I can say.
Transcription. I mean, the transcription is blowing me away.
Yes.
It's just going with everything we're saying. I love that.
fantastic. So that makes it more accessible for deaf and hard of hearing. It also means that people can catch up if they were late to the show. And but most importantly for you as a voice, it means that you can be discovered just by the words that you're saying.
Right. So so we have a ton of questions now coming in. But I did also want to ask you, during our conversation, there was a certain Fortune 500 company whose entrepreneur program you were accepted into. Are you able to talk about that openly? Because I think that would be impressive for people too.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So we're one of just 11 other companies that have been accepted into Google's inaugural Voice AI Accelerator program. So that started just 2 weeks ago, and we've got 8 more weeks to go before demo day at the end of May, when there's going to be a ton of investors that we present to. So hopefully we can get this campaign up and running for you guys to invest in before the old money gets in. How's that sound?
Yeah, you got to take care of your
people.
Kind
of plan we like. Yeah, we like that plan.
So, and you know, when Allende and I talked about this, he said that, and nothing against just Black only programs, but he was up against every ethnic group for this, every gender, and he beat out so many people in order to participate in this program. That just goes to show you the power of what Needle is doing. So, Denise is saying, can Needle be utilized as a complement to a podcast or instead of having a podcast?
Just a quick housekeeping. It says, can we turn off the radio broadcasting now so we don't get an echo? So
yeah, that was me, I think. So
I turned it off.
Yeah, I turned mine off too. I saw Adele. Yes.
Thank you. You guys are on it. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's all right.
So all right. So if you can remember a time before Clubhouse, we were already pivoting towards podcasting. So what we realized is that a lot of podcasters are having to do double work, where they have to do the podcast, transcribe the podcast, edit the podcast, do all this other stuff. So we really see this as a huge opportunity. So we're going to allow for, so right now you can already come on Needle and get transcriptions. And so what we're going to be doing is offering those transcriptions for sale at the end of your Needlecast, along with some metrics for you to see how many people listened, and also give you the opportunity to purchase your audio. But we're democratizing access to information and the microphone itself. And what that means to us is that privacy is really paramount for us, because we want people to be able to whistle blow or talk about whatever they need to talk about and feel like it's safe and not face recrimination or have the fear of that. So you'll also be able to delete all that stuff. So you'll be able to delete the transcripts, delete the audio. If you don't, then it'll live in stories. And I don't want to give too much information about that, but that's coming up next.
Yeah, save that for the pitch. VD is asking, how were you able to get funding from overseas?
Just God. You want the answer?
If that's the real answer, yeah.
That's the real answer. Look, won't he do it in words of Tamar?
So the story is this, right? So the manifestation of that was this. I said, because we were getting all this capital from Black only programs, which is great, but I was like, I want some real other kind of money without like it being Black only. And like within a couple months, it started to manifest. And then so we went to an accelerator in San Francisco, and then that accelerator introduced us to Sweet Capital, who happened to be looking for a business in our sector, and they invested.
Great. Chris is saying, this is great. Oh, I see Karen Hunter uses the app. My question is, can someone without a journalism degree build a following?
Yes, and so it's an excellent question. And we built this app. If you look at the app, we built it for you to build a following. That's why we put you first. Like when you go live or when you share from your profile page, you're not sharing Needle. You're sharing Cherie Warwick has a live radio station, right? And because it's all about Cherie, it's about her connections, because people are so inundated with all this other stuff and all these different apps. We knew that that's a big barrier. So how do we create something frictionless so that if you already have a following, or if you're trying to build a following, how can you share it instantly so people can listen to you and then come back over and over again? So so if you want to build a following, here's what you do. You sign up, you share that link, you put that link everywhere in your bios, right? And then people, even while you're sleeping, people are clicking on that link and they're subscribing to your alerts. So whenever you go live, then if you want to command an army of listeners, that's how you do it. And every time you go live, they get a text message alert to listen to you without any friction whatsoever. No downloading, no whatever.
We need a 10K Needle group, Cherie. We need to join for 10K. And then we can go live, like every other Monday, we can go live in Needle instead of here.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Miss Vivian is asking, how is the security, privacy, and data protection on your app?
Yeah, so it's one of those things where it's really tough because the new regulations require us to do a lot. But when you're a small team, we only have literally right now we only have one developer, right? So that's why we're here, so we can build our team. So right now, it is what it is. We are obligated to do certain things to be in the App Store. But we're not doing everything that we want to do in terms of removing transcriptions that you don't want anymore. So once we're able to build the team, we'll be able to put all those securities features in place so that you can go live and know that your words are your own and you can delete them whenever you want, etc.
Yeah. Now, someone in the chat asked a question about hate speech and what kind of protocols you have to prevent hate speech on Needle.
Well, yeah. So obviously this is something that I'm very, very attuned to, and many of us are, right? So because this is the thing that you should be most excited about, actually, in terms of our differentiation, because we know everything that's said the moment that it's said. We are able to create moderation tools that no other audio platform has or can have without using our patent. Yeah. And so we're able to immediately call out that hate speech, and then that's when the machine learning, that's when the $500,000 comes in. The other 400K that we're, like we said, the 100K is what we need immediately, but the other 400K, because that $500,000 can be used to create machine learning. So we know, what the context of certain words are being used. Now, I would prefer to eliminate some N-words completely, but some people are still using that word. We'll honor that. in a way that's not hateful. So,
Mhm.
so we need to be able to call that out so that we know who's saying what, when, and how.
And y'all know that Google owns YouTube, so I see why they selected you as part of their group. So Jesse is also asking in line with this, could this be the app that we go to when we're stopped by the police?
Yes, I literally thought about like when we were building this, this is how I thought about it, because you know, you can turn it on and start live broadcasting you don't have to hold the camera towards someone, right? So
Mhm.
so I really feel like this can be an insurance policy for a lot of us in some
Yeah.
ways.
Miss Vivian is asking, how do we log off? So she's having, I guess, some trouble logging off on Needle. How do you log
Once you're
off?
in, you can't go off. So no. So you press, if you're broadcasting live, you press the stop button, and it gives you an opportunity to make sure that you want to stop the broadcast. If you go to your profile section, you should be able to press log off.
Mhm.
But really, if you just close the app, it's just ready for you next time.
Okay.
All right, so I have a call to
Oh,
action.
sure. Go ahead.
And I don't usually do this, but I feel my spirit is compelled to do this, and I just did it. So we all have some form of social media. I just put it on my personal Facebook page. I put the home.needle.com. I told people that this brother is doing great things. This does not even, like, Clubhouse is not on the same level with what I just saw. And so there are 97 of us on this call right now. If 97 of us just did this on just to our personal network, right? He can get the exposure that he needs so that when that campaign comes out, he can get the funding that he needs. So this is, you know, we're always talking about how can we help? This is how you can help today, right? So just do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Tawana. Wow, you guys are making me emotional over here. It's like, seriously, thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, look, we love people who are doing great things, and this is what the 10K project was created for. I would run into people like you all the time who had great ideas. You're brilliant, you're grinding, you're hustling, but you don't have the rich uncle that can give you, $600,000. And I'm in these rooms with other people that do. And I'm like, okay, what can we do? What are we able to do if we can just come together and put our small dollars together? So look, you're making us emotional too here. Like the chat is on fire with people saying, please call WeFunder tonight, figure out whatever you need to do to reactivate the campaign.
Miss Vivian, Miss Vivian's asking me a question. Miss Vivian, when I put in home.needle.com, that's the URL, it brought up the logo.
Yeah. So we're going to ask just a couple more questions here. Brenda has a great question. Is there a tutorial? So let's talk a little bit about user experience, and maybe you're hiring right now for somebody to help you pull these together, but it would be helpful if there was some sort of a tutorial when people come in to the system. I'm sure you'd already thought of that.
That's good feedback, because I downloaded the app, I think it was like a month ago.
Yeah.
Couldn't figure it out.
I couldn't figure it out.
I'll come back to it later. And then I never did, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now you just took 3 minutes to walk me through the clicks, and I was able to get on without any issue. I needed that a month ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what I hear you saying is, if we had coach marks in the app that said, do this, do this, do this, do that, that it would be much easier for you to use. That comes down to us making a decision between, are we going to migrate off of MongoDB to get onto Firebase on our back end, or are we going to do this? And it's like we're having to make these trade-off decisions because we only have one developer right now. So thank you so much for the feedback. It's heard, totally heard, and it is something that's super high on our list.
When we come in, is it possible that we are automatically guided to a channel that is the tutorial, that is like a recording of the how-to? So it's almost like a default channel that we go into as soon as we join.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. I think that's not. Yeah, I think it's just a question of like recording that or just doing the coach marks, which would be quicker, but I think maybe this might be quicker. So I'm gonna check to see which one we can do.
You get that one for free. The next one's gonna cost you though.
It's really important. Thank you.
Look,
I will send my hay. I will send my hay.
Yes, send your hay over. Which somebody is asking, how do you buy the hay? How do you buy
Cool.
that?
All right. So I didn't really get to address this. So you buy the hay through the app. So if you're a listener, you see that gold coin, which is actually the side of a hay bale. So you tap on that, and then you can purchase hay. You can purchase hay in any kind of stack that you want. You have the smaller stacks or the bigger stacks. So there's 3 ways that you can earn hay on Needle. The first way is through tips, like what Tawana got. And then the second way is through comments. So the more people who are in a Needlecast, the more it costs to leave a comment. So we're trying to incentivize people to bring as many people as possible to their Needlecasts, and so that they can earn hay without having to ask for it. And we're also trying to de-incentivize trolls. And then of course the Needlecaster or voice will be able to turn that off anytime that they want if they just want free comments, right? And then the third way is through ticketed events. So if Cherie is having an event and I want to go, then I'll maybe pay 5 or 10 hay to get in.
So we have a couple of people asking about Android. How do they receive notifications? Is it available on Android? Excuse my dog. So it is available on Android, yes. And the notifications, are notifications available on Android?
Yeah, notifications should be live on Android. We're doing the best we can in terms of testing. But like I said, we've got 1 or 2 big fixes to do on Android. And so you should expect to have some of those bugs done by next week at the latest. So you should be good to go on Android by next week. You can use it now. It depends on your device. So we're having some trouble with Pixel phones, but we'll be getting some of that fixed.
Okay. And the last question will be Denise's question. Is there an option to add your own branding to your Needle page? I'm looking to relaunch my previous podcast and would love to use an app developed and Black-owned. My podcast will feature conversations and information about tech.
Absolutely, Denise. So I don't know what the what your podcast was named, but if it's called Denise's podcast and then you want to just sign up under that name. You can change your handle anytime. So there are some people who have 2 accounts, like Just Seriously Speaking has an account. She's one of our top Needlecasters. So she has so Just Siri is her private account, and she has her image, and then Just Seriously Speaking, she has the branded image there. So that's a really great way to build your brand.
Okay, but it's not like Twitter where you can have the banner with like your email and your phone number or anything like that. I think might be what she's asking next level.
Well, with that branded logo, right? Mm-hmm. So she can put any bio that she wants. So it can have all that information there in her bio. Okay. And with the new version that you can see a preview, like the Android version. You can also put upcoming Needlecasts. So that gives you an opportunity to when people come into Needle, Chris can see it on his Android version. You'll be able to see it on iOS later on this week or next week. But it gives you immediate promotion for brands.
I'm excited. I don't know about everybody else, but I think we need to put a 1 in the chat if you are excited about what you heard tonight with regards to Needle. Allende, he's doing great things. We're seeing the 1s coming in. So yes, Tawana, do you have any final comments or?
My final comment is that the 10K community is amazing because we actually heard about you several months back. From one of our members, Kevin Brown. So Kevin, if you watch this replay, thank you so much, brother, because, we would still be blind to this. And so, I'll say first, as we hear about things in the community, we need to share it with each other, right? We need to talk about these projects that we're hearing about, and we need to spread the word about them. so that we can back these Black founders. Allende, I'm super excited. Now that I know how to use it, I'm going to go in.
Thank you.
I'll find something to talk to people about.
Maybe you can help them with tips and tricks and
Maybe I
share
can.
a tutorial.
Yes, yes. So, well, Allende, I will yield the floor to you. You know, a couple of minutes. Any final words that you have to say to the family?
Thank you for being family, right? So being family is loving us when we're on top and when we're on our bottoms. And so thank you for coming to Needle, for sharing it. And the most important thing that you could possibly do for us is to start a live broadcast and share it with your friends, build your own brand. And it's basically a free platform that you can own right now. So go for it. Thank you very much for letting me be here today.
This is
Perfect.
wonderful.
Thank you so much. And before my dog tears up my house, I'm going to say that everyone adieu. And we will see you all tomorrow if you are members. Otherwise, we'll see you next week. Thank you so
8
much.
p.m. Be on time. Bet on Black picks.
Got that.
Transportation is tomorrow's industry. So thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Night, everybody.